Oh my God, what am I doing? 800 kilometers. That's a godforsaken long way to go.
I guess the only way to combat my fear right now is to train. So let's start with breakfast and let's go on a couple of walks.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm doing a couple of walks this week, and this one I am going to go for about 15 kilometers, and so far I've done 3. Just trying to get a feel for the backpack, definitely going with the Osprey, and thinking through whether or not I need to take this fleece with me because I'm really warm right now, and I'm going to have 2 tops that are long sleeves, so not too sure if I need the 3rd one. And just thinking through whether the back of my right heel, there's a bit of a pinch, so I'm not too sure whether that's something that I need to address with shoes or something like that. But anyways, it's interesting. I've got 500 ml of water with me, and it's a very different experience walking and practicing walking with a backpack than just going for a walk and testing out the shoes. So I would highly encourage you to put the stuff that you are going to take with you and go for at least 15 kilometers a couple of weeks out. 4 weeks until I take my first step at Saint Jean Port de Pied, and not feeling very confident, but let's see how it goes. I'm trying to give myself the best shot of finishing the pilgrimage. Check in later. So just for people who don't really know what the Camino de Santiago is, let me explain. Pilgrims believe that the bones or the remains of St. James, the Apostle St. James, is buried in Santiago. And so because once that was established that it was indeed the bones of the Apostle St. James, people started making journeys to Santiago. And so St. James is actually the patron saint of Spain, and hence very important. So as you can imagine, people from all over Europe, knowing that St. James was buried there, want to go on this walk either to seek redemption, seek forgiveness for stuff, seek new beginnings, seek renewal, or just to make that journey to pay homage to a holy person who was associated with Jesus, part of the Catholic faith, perhaps you can say, or Christianity. Don't please quote me on my religion because I don't know much about it, but that's pretty much, I think, how that goes. So if you were living in, say, Portugal, then you would just walk along, and there is something called the Portuguese Camino, which starts in Porto. If you live in France, you would then go the French way, which would be across the Pyrenees, and that's the one that I want to do. I do have a love affair with France. I love Paris. I want to one day live one whole year in Paris just to see what that's like. Anyways, I am going to start my journey at Saint Jean Port de Pied. But if you say live in, I don't know, Rome, you might want to go from there. I think there is a route there to go to Santiago. But anyway, Santiago is considered for the Roman Catholic quite a holy city, very holy in fact, and hence that's why the pilgrimage to Santiago kind of has happened over the years. So by doing it, I'm actually following in the footsteps of many, many pilgrims before me, which is quite a romantic notion. I think I have actually alarmed quite a couple of my family members when I casually may have offered to them over the weekend the news that I am going to be walking 800 kilometers across Spain on my own. Mum was like, "What? Aren't you taking anyone with you?" And I says, no, Mum, I think this journey, especially the first one, and in the honor tradition of the pilgrimage, I have to do this first one myself. I mean, I am a bit of a purist, but not ridiculously so. But still, I think for me, I'm just going to take my life for a walk and process a few things I have a couple of decisions I need to make, I guess. And yeah, so I said to Mum, look, don't worry. It's a very well infrastructured path. Yes, people have been walking since 800 AD and they will continue to walk on. And anyway, I think she is quite alarmed and has promptly texted me today to say, I'm coming over to see you on the weekend and let's talk about it. I'm saying, okay, sure, let's talk about it. Isn't this beautiful? It's near where I live, and I don't know, this is the reason why I haven't been able to move away from where I currently live, although I do want to in some sense. But yeah, it's just gorgeous today anyway. It's really pretty, but I suppose that I can always get into a car and come here. Something to think about on the trip, on the way. Of course, you've got things like graffiti. So it's a very different reaction when I told my parents to versus when I told my kids that I'm doing this Camino. My kids, one of them would say, yeah, okay, sure, just make sure you break your boots in. That was very, very practical of him. My other kid is like, okay. I mean, didn't say much. I don't think they really understand, but then I haven't really explained, why I'm doing the pilgrimage, and I might do that in a later video. But I guess for me, at the heart of it, it's like I've traveled a lot in my life. I was in a corporate job where I was lucky enough to jet set here and there in a formal life, but now I'm just wanting to be in touch with nature, and rather than and I've done a lot of city sort of travel. I just want to go for a long walk and slow travel, I guess, and be able to really immerse in the culture of the country that I'm in. I really love Europe, and I was in Spain last year, albeit only for a couple of days really, and it's going to be very different this Spain trip because this is like 30 to 40 days. Northern Spain, the food won't be the same, but it would be lovely just to see what rural Spain looks like. And I'm actually looking forward to break out of my bubble a little bit and sort of maybe meet people from different nationalities. I have to show you the Australian wattle. We're pretty famous for it, and I think that's probably the reason why the Australian colours, especially in cricket anyway, is yellow and green. Take a look. It's a pretty stunning tree, this one, and they make great spray of flowers, but they do drop their little pollen or their little seeds, so it can be quite messy, but it's stunning. It makes really good decor and I don't know, print pattern perhaps. The Australian wattle. Hey guys, okay, it's time to head home because I think we're at twilight now. Good morning. I'm practicing a rain walk today. Hey there, I think it's time for a walk. So I'm just putting on my practice socks. I've got a couple of socks that I've kept for the actual Camino, but I do have some toe socks that I'm going to use to practice my walking so that I don't wear it out too much. In the same vein, I'm going to put on my practice ultra shoes so that I don't wear out the ones that I'm going to be using for the Camino. I have broken them in though, so that's the key, isn't it, really? Before every walk, I like to stretch. I'm just going to show you a couple of exercises that I do. And again, I'm not an expert in all of this. I just want to show you how I prepare for walk so that maybe you might want to think about doing some stretches before you go, which I'm sure you will. First of all, squats. So line up your feet to your shoulders like that and just making sure that your knees are strong and don't go over your toes. Just do squats, okay? Please consult a proper YouTube influencer for these exercises, but this is how I do them. But please don't copy me, just know that squats are what you should be doing, apparently.
My training regime is to walk 2 small walks a week, maybe 8Ks, and then on the weekend do a 15K. This is in the weeks leading up to the Camino, in this case, the Camino Frances. And I try and stretch before and after my walk as well. You have to walk with your pack as well, loaded up, using the shoes that you might be using for the Camino. I will confess that my backpack and its content is still troubling me because it's not quite light enough and I don't want to be injured.
My friend Nick said the best stretch to do, and she's a yoga teacher, is downward facing dog. It works every muscle of your body, apparently. Thanks, Nick. Okay, that's taken a bit out of me. All right, let's go walking. Hey guys, just to check in, I just went and did 8 kilometers and that was not too bad. My pack feels good, my feet feels good. These shoes actually kind of feel better than the ones that I'm planning to take, both exactly the same model, bought at the same time, but I was just going to practice in these and save the soles for save the shoes that I'm going to use in the Camino for the Camino, but I don't know. Anyways, yes, beautiful day today, feeling good. I think I should be able to be okay, but you know, it's a very different terrain. I've been walking on pretty flat grounds, so I'm not too sure exactly if it's that realistic, you know?